What's going on, guys? So we're going to find out how good a team of trade deadline players is. Now, I'm not using the actual trade deadline for us. Basically, like the month or so leading up to the deadline, which was absolutely insane. Like, I think it had to be the craziest week leading up to the deadline ever. And then the actual deadline today had to be like the driest, deadest deadline we've seen in a while. Like, I don't think there was literally one big trade today. The closest thing might have been Klingberg, and he went for like barely anything. So, good thing like we had so many trades leading up to it. Obviously, too, that means this team's going to be absolutely stacked. So, as you guys can see here, we have the central trade deadline team. Top players there, Timo Meier, Bo Horvat, Ryan O'Reilly, and that's just three of the names. Like Patrick Kane's not even listed there. And as always, guys, I simply added this team as the 33rd team in the NHL. And I decided to put them in the Metro Division because obviously the Metro Division probably was the busiest by far at the trade deadline. You had Columbus trading Gavrikov for Quick, plus they dumped Voracek's contract. Meier to the Devils. Islanders got Horvat. Rangers got Kane and Tarasenko. Of course, Capitals made a big trade to the Leafs. The Hurricanes there got Puljujarvi and Gostisbehere, so I felt like it fit. And as you can see, we're 92 overall, which actually ties us with the Boston Bruins as the highest rated team in the league. So we should be a playoff team, but obviously you never know with this game. All right, guys, so just finished at the lines. As you can see, we're currently 5-2 in the preseason. Timo Meier there's got 8 points in 7 games. As I mentioned, this team is absolutely stacked. So first line there, you got Tarasenko and O'Reilly reunited, and they're playing with Patrick Kane. Of course, Kane and Tarasenko are new teammates. We had to keep them together, and that first line's actually getting a +5 chem boost. Second line there, Bertuzzi, Horvat, and Meier, they get a +2. Third line's Verana, Domi, Granlund. Fourth line's Puljujarvi, Barbashev, and Janot. So yeah, like looking at that forward group, we are stacked top to bottom. Defensively here, we actually had so many options. So I've got the first pairing being Ekholm and Barrie. I just thought this would be kind of fun. Obviously, the two guys traded for each other. Chychrun and Hronek on the second pair get a +5. Klingberg, Gavrikov on the bottom pair get a -1, but hopefully they'll be okay. Obviously, too, I think Hronek and Chychrun were traded within like an hour of each other, which is kind of nuts. And now in terms of the goaltenders, we got the two guys trade for each other. Quick there, Korpisalo, both 82s. They were both pretty hard for me to rate because like Quick was okay before this season where he just like completely fell off, and Korpisalo was honestly like really bad the 2 seasons prior to this one, and this season's actually been pretty decent. So decided to give them the same rating there. But it still makes sense to me why LA did this trade is obviously if you're getting a similar goalie back in Korpisalo, but adding Gavrikov to your defense, it makes a lot of sense. In terms of special teams, guys, for this team, power play 1 there looks pretty nuts. I'm very curious to see how this team's going to produce. Power play 2 even obviously is pretty solid. I actually went with like 3 Red Wings there just for fun. Still can't believe, like, look at that. 3 names we thought were part of our future. All gone within a matter of a couple days. Like, that's just crazy. Look at the 4-man power play 1, again, pretty stacked, +5. 4-man power play 2 is also solid. PK-wise, I feel like our PK players aren't quite as good, but still, you get +5 in the first unit. O'Reilly, one of the best face-off takers in the league. The second one there is not too bad. I get a +2. Third's also decent. 3-man PK 1, you guys can see 2 and 3. Again, overall, this team should be solid. And like I said, there were so many trades leading up to the trade deadline the past week. I've actually got like half an AHL team filled with traded players. So first line here is Jordan Greenway, Beauvillier, Niederreiter. Second line there, Danilov, Nyquist, Gurianov. Defensively here, we got Gostisbehere, McCabe, top pair. Sandin, Orlov, along with Shen on the bottom pair. But we don't have any NHL goalies aside from the quick Korpisalo trade. Really no like actual NHL goaltenders got traded. Most of them were like minor league goalies for the most part. Next year, guys, too, if you're curious, I'll show you the capacity for this team. Decided to just go with like the players that were kind of like the biggest trades. So Patrick Kane, of course, leaving Chicago. Timo Meier, Bo Horvat. Could have also included like, you know, O'Reilly or Tarasenko. Now, next year, guys, before I get started with the sim, I'll show you this team's ratings as well as what the jerseys look like. Obviously, we're just rocking like a standard NHL logo, using like the white, black, and red colors from the trade deadline logo. You guys can see Timo Meier there rocking the away. Right there's the home jersey, finally the alternate. All 3 jerseys too have got like the metallic red helmet and gloves, just for fun. And you guys can see the stats, 97 offense, 92 defense, 82 goaltending. So goaltending, obviously the weak spot of this team. I feel like the forwards and defense in front of them though should be able to make up for it. Let's see what happens. And now check this out, guys. We're currently at the trade deadline. Just to show you how good the Metro Division is, this team of stat players is only 3rd place. You got the Devils and Penguins above us. The Blue Jackets are at the bottom, same with the Capitals and the Flyers. So that's actually pretty realistic. I just noticed, how does that work? The Flyers have 10 games more played than the Islanders. So the Flyers are actually doing a lot worse than that shows. They'd probably be at the bottom of the division if they didn't have so many extra games played. But we're still doing pretty well. I am curious to see what trades get made. Most of the deadline trades I've put through at this point, but not all of them. So it'd be kind of funny if one of the ones actually happens in this sim here. Meier there, 59 points in 64 games. Let's just sim a day here. Basically looking to see if any blockbuster trades pop up. Alright, guys, so I just looked through the trades. There's some funny ones here. I hadn't moved Gavrikov yet. Columbus trades him to Vegas now instead of LA. Tristan Jarry traded by Pittsburgh to Buffalo with Brian Rust for a couple second-round picks. That does not seem like good enough value. Kulikov there, the Stars. Anaheim gets back Maverick Bjork and Antonio Stranges. Like, that's insane. Pittsburgh trades Raquel to Nashville. I'm pretty sure they were second in the division, and it's a tough division, so I'm not sure why they're selling. Let's see. Chris Letang to Minnesota. Like, what is Pittsburgh doing? Blake Wheeler there to St. Louis for Justin Falk. Shattenkirk there to the Devils. Dumoulin, another player Pittsburgh's trade away. Athanasiou from Chicago. Domi to Boston, of course, from Chicago. So Chicago's selling. They're trying to get Bedard here. Brandon Saad goes to Arizona. It's very interesting to see that Arizona's a buyer. Let me double check the Central Division standings. Yeah, they're second last in the division. That doesn't really make sense. And again, the Penguins are second in our division. I don't get why they're trading like so many players. And so we're at the end of the season here, guys, with a solid record, 45, 29, and 8, which is good for 98 points on the year. We actually finished first there in the Metro Division. The Penguins still made the playoffs, even after trading away all those players. The Rangers miss. Add Kane and Tarasenko and miss. That is insane. The rest of the playoff teams look to be pretty normal, aside from, I guess, the Senators finishing second in the Atlantic and the Bruins missing there. Also, the Maple Leafs missed. Jeez, that's kind of nuts. So, Patty Kane here, just over a point per game for us. I actually am curious to see the AHL team. Nyquist, almost a point per game. We didn't make the playoffs, but only third in the division. I don't know how Henderson Silver Knights, the Firebirds, simmed better than us when literally half of our AHL team was NHL players. That's kind of nuts. But I'll take a look here and see how everyone else did. Timo Meier there, just under point per game. Horvat, 71. Tarasenko, 69. Nice. O'Reilly, 68 there. Burt had over 50 points. Barry, only 38. That's kind of surprising. Usually Sim's a lot better, but maybe it's because we had so many like solid defensemen contributing. Hronek, 30. Same with Verana, Ekholm. Where is John Klingberg? 23 points for Klingberg. 17 minutes a night. He was on the third D pair, but he's on the first power play. I thought he would have done a lot better than that. Yeah, he only had 3 power play points. That is definitely surprising to see. So, in terms of the power play, like you can see Kane, Meier, they had 20. So, it was not too bad. Goaltending stats here, pretty much the same. I guess Korpisalo's goals against they're slightly lower, but he did play less games. Also, too, guys, quick look, the AHL team behind Nyquist, Gosper, 73. Niederreiter, Orlov, Beauvillier, Greenway, Sandin. Yeah, literally all the NHL players leading this team. And in terms of the entire league, got McDavid leading the way there with 116 points, followed by Crosby. He had to like put the team on his back after his GM decided to just start selling while they're second place in the division. Goals-wise, Ovi there, 56. Defensive scoring, Makar had 90. Goalies here, Markstrom actually big year, unlike real life. 40 wins. Best save percentage, though, goes to Husso, or actually Vasilevsky, Husso tied, with Yorgi there having the best goals against on the Avalanche. And then rookie skaters here. Cole Perfetti, 66 points, probably taking home the Calder. I actually forgot to check where we finished the entire league. Avs there win the President's Trophy. We won our division, but still finished 10th. I think that just shows you how tough the Metro is. Like, we had to play, a lot tougher teams. Unlike the Avs, got to beat up on the Coyotes and the Blackhawks. I feel like that definitely pushed their spot up in the standings. But we get started now, guys, with the playoffs. We got the Carolina Hurricanes here. They're a tough team, but obviously our team is pretty stacked too. So let's see what happens here in round 1. When the first 2 games at home, we actually sweep the Hurricanes. Wow, okay, that's pretty impressive. Next matchup here is with the Devils. So obviously they're going to go up against Timo Meier. He's playing against himself. Hopefully he can show up for us. And 1-1, 3-1. Beat them in 6. We have the Red Wings now in the Eastern Conference Final. That's crazy. Yzerman, of course, just sold. This is going to be the team that beats us. I already know. It's just how the game works. All right, we win the first game at home, second game, third game, fourth game. We sweep. I know we have the Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Final. So, of course, with the team I was chirping, talking about how they really, didn't deserve to be here. So let's see what happens. Lose the first 2. Let's at least not get swept here, boys. Okay, so potentially could tie it there. Game 4, we do. Let's just see. I'm going to sim these next few periods. I'm going to sim these next few games period by period. 1-1, Rantanen and Granlund. Well, that's not good. 4-1, just their 3 biggest players all score. 5-1 there. Taves adds 1. So, backs against the wall now. We have to win the next 2 games here if we want a chance at the Stanley Cup. So far, though, I'm pretty happy. We made the final. Obviously, with how lucky the playoff sims are, that's pretty decent. Up 2-1. Janelle, Hronek, Girard for them. 3-2. Byram for them. Meier for us. 4-2. Granlund there. So we hold on to force Game 7 Stanley Cup Final. Can this trade deadline team get it done? Win the Stanley Cup? Literally zero chemistry, just all these players coming together. Let's see what happens. Up 1, Tyler Bertuzzi. Up 2 now, Hronek. Is it safe to just sim the period? Probably. Kane there makes it 3-0. If we get, 3-1 Lehkonen. Both those goals within the first minute. Alright, let's see. Bertuzzi there, 4-1. I feel like, can we sim the period? I'm going to take a shot here. There we go. Yeah, we still hold on there. Win the Stanley Cup after coming back down 3-2 in 7. You gotta like that. We'll see who wins the Conn Smythe Trophy as well as all the other awards. Chicago Bulls won the Calder Cup, so I can't believe that AHL team wasn't able to perform better. St. Louis there, first overall pick to get Connor Bedard. And look at this, guys. Patty Kane had 23 points in 21 games, so he popped off for us in the playoffs. Over a point per game. Quick look at the rest of the players. O'Reilly also had 23. Ooh, okay. In terms of plus minus, O'Reilly was slightly better. He's a centerman. He might have won himself another Conn Smythe Trophy. I mean, both these guys have won before. One of them's going to be winning a second. Meyer, Tarasenko each at 18. Defensively, Barry there is actually leading us in points. Who they go with in the playoffs? I went Jonathan Quick. That makes sense. The veteran. 9.23 and a 2.43 goals against. So, Quick performed very, very well there in the playoffs. In terms of the playoff tree here, looking at the Avs, you can see they beat the Jets in 6, Stars in 5, Kraken in 5, before losing to us there in 7. And next, you guys taking a quick look at the awards. So McDavid, of course, 3rd straight Art Ross, also gets a Hart. Makar and their James Norris. I feel like Makar wins it every single time in the first year sim, which kind of makes sense. Aho there, Lady Bing. Perfetti did get the Calder. O'Reilly did get the Conn Smythe. Okay, very cool. Yorgi Vezina Trophy along with William Jennings. Labushkin and Bill Masterton. He gets it a lot. Penguins coach Jack Adams, which is kind of interesting. Selke there goes to Couturier. McDavid, Ted Lindsay, and then, of course, Ovi there with Misha Shard. Now, AHL, I actually am curious. Quickly want to look at that because our players should have done better. Eklund most points. Don't tell me we didn't get a single AHL award. That's hilarious. Literally, again, half the team was NHL players, but I guess they just didn't care once they got sent down to the AHL. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That just shows you how crazy this year's trade deadline was. There was enough star players moved that a team of those guys could literally go in and win a Stanley Cup. So if you guys enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. New episode of this franchise mode will be out tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.